Episode of Technology Tuesday. I'm your host, Greg Russell, here with my good friend and my partner, Mr. Jerry Franklin Poe, speaker extraordinaire. Today, we got an exciting show for you guys. So, listen, if you know someone who should be tuning in, this is a very special episode. Make sure you reach out and let them know that we are on right now. And if you're catching us on the replay, catch us, let us know you're on the replay. Let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Hashtag live and where you're tuning in from. Hashtag replay if you're catching us on the replay and where you're tuning in from. We would love to know where you guys are tuning in from. With that, we're about to dive in right now and share with you some important information, industry news, and something you need to know coming up for this holiday season. So here we go.
All right. Technology Tuesday back in the building with the technology ninja, Greg Russell, the tech Jedi. We are here every week, with time 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, giving you practical knowledge, practical application, and those practical solutions for your business. So, Greg, I know you have some things that you were mentioning to me offline that some changes have been happening within the industry and within the technology, and it's funny how products and services that people get accustomed to, get used to, and then all of a sudden, something changes. Like with Facebook, getting rid of the videos that were stored there. It's like, you like, oh man, like we won't see some of these things coming in the when they change their policies and their procedures.
Yes, sir. I think it's important that we pay attention to these terms and services because, Jerry, as I've been just being mindful of how big companies operate, I've been watching some documentaries on Netflix, and it's just amazing to see how some of these big corporations and companies can get away with things that some smaller companies and small individuals would never be able to get away with. And so it's important that we start to pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes. So I got some industry news for you guys, things that's going on in the industry that you need to be aware of, and some changes. Not necessarily changes, but some changes for this one company that makes you mindful of what's going on with the other. So, Jerry, do you remember when there was the ban on TikTok and TikTok got shut down for a couple days and everybody was
Yep.
all trying to figure out what they was going to do? Well, part of TikTok, company that owns it, is one of the products, one of the things that TikTok has in its arsenal of products is a service called CapCut. And when TikTok went down, CapCut went down. Now, CapCut is a video editing platform that was started on mobile that a lot of creators use because a lot of creators edit their content on their mobile devices. So it's very, very popular among creators. Um, and so it's one of those tools that if you deal with video editing, you are most likely familiar of. And they've recently changed their terms of service. They've updated it, and they had some pretty shocking things for most people. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at those changes, some of the things that's going on, some of the things we're seeing people talk about, and then some things that you guys can do in response to that. So with that, I'm going to come over here and we're going to take a look. I'm just going to look at a couple comments that we're seeing. Let me know if you see my screen. There we go. All right. So
Yep.
this
You're
may be
good.
small, but I will try my best just to share with you guys a little bit about it. So this is basically just a read up, and this is talk about anyone panicking about the CapCut's new terms of service because they had, hey, we updated our terms of service. And so this particular post is just talking about, hey, if you're panicking, what you may not realize is that a lot of companies, these bigger companies, have these terms of service. So we're going to talk a little bit about what CapCut is doing, and then we'll talk about a little about some of the others like YouTube and Canva. So basically, what CapCut is doing is they're saying any content that you put up there is, it's their content. You kind of lose your rights to it, and for a lot of times, even YouTube does the same thing, but they took it a step further. Jerry, they took it a step further, and they were like, if your content is used and causes any illegal stuff, that they can come after you for your content, even though they're claiming the rights to it. So it was stuff we've never seen before in terms of service, and it has got most of the creators in an uproar about CapCut and their terms of service. So a lot of them are looking for other platforms to be able to edit their videos. So my thing is this: you have to know the rules to play the game, and once you know the rules, then you can play the game, and you can use the rules to your favor if you know the rules. So when it comes to creating content and you putting your content out there, one of the things, like I didn't really know what was going on with CapCut until recently, but I do understand YouTube. And YouTube is like, you still have your rights that you created it, but we can share it anywhere on our platform in any format that we want. You give up that rights to how they use it. Therefore, if you put a YouTube on video, I'm sorry, if you put a video up on YouTube and someone else decides to use it in any way, that's how YouTube stays out of the legal challenges of people saying, hey, they use my content, because they're saying, hey, if you use our platform, you give up that right, and we're going to distribute it however we want. And if someone else is using it on YouTube's platform, you've given up that right. So that's why you see people, with videos where they may have a split screen and they're showing someone else's video or they're talking about someone else's videos, because once you put it on the YouTube, you kind of lose that right. Well, CapCut has done the same thing, except now they're like, listen, if there's any legal stuff, we're coming after you, even though they took the rights to the video, and people are just not happy about that, among other things. So, man, what do you think? I know you deal with um, speakers and websites and terms of service, and we always are looking at different platforms to help entrepreneurs with their business. What do you think about these terms of service? I would love to get your input on it.
Great question. Yeah, I mean, you can take it in many different directions. It really goes back to your mindset as individual and how you see yourself as a creative. Um, the question is, you know, the ideas that you have in the terms of their ownership. Like a lot of people, they are. So you look at it this way. So you want to. So it's like it's a give and take. Like if you want to get your message out there, right? So here's the first thing I'm thinking, right? The first thing is that what I've noticed in types of like any type of policy or rule change, once one provider does it, others providers fall in line. So right now you fly on the airline, right? Can you check a bag for free?
It depends on the airline.
Can a standard person go to an airline and check a bag for free on Delta, American, United?
If they're not offering that service, then no. The answer is no.
No, well, they don't do that no more. You can't check a bag for free because about 10, 15 years ago, Delta said, we're going to charge you $25 to check a bag. And they did it for a year and nobody barked. Delta didn't lose any customers. People kept flying Delta. So then the other airlines followed in suit. Then it went from $25 to $35. Now it's $40 to bring it back. Like you need, like people have to bring luggage to like, you're not flying without luggage. I mean, years ago, you got a meal. Like, think about it. Years ago, when you flew on a plane, you could check a bag, you can carry on a bag, you can get a meal, you can get a drink. All that was included inside of the ticket price. Now they say, oh, it's a la carte. You got to pay for a seat, you got to pay for a meal, you got to pay for it. So it's like everything. So as the world changes and people continue to use the product or service, um, other companies. So if you're looking for another provider, yeah, you might find one today, but if they are seeing how this benefits CapCut, they're like, oh, why don't we make the same changes as well? We'll make the same changes too, and usually they fall in line. So you got to decide for yourself. Well, how much content do you want to put in terms of what you believe? Some people believe, there are certain things about their intellectual property that they want to keep to themselves, depending on what industry you're in. Like especially if you were a speaker or provider. But then the other part about it is, it really goes back to exposure. Like when you write a book, right? Your information gets out there. Somebody could be using it, and you may not know about it. No, I get it. I get it. Right? When they started bootlegging not to say bootlegging, when they started like sampling people's music without permission, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, eventually it caught up to some folks, right, monetarily, eventually, because people found out about it. But if no one ever found out, that was like, because some people didn't know their music was even being sampled, they didn't even know, right? So like the challenge is, Greg, um, are you monitoring how many people are out there using the content that you created, whether it be on CapCut, whether it be on YouTube? Most people don't have enough time in their day to monitor to see who's using the stuff that they post. But the other side to it is if someone is using your content, they're also promoting you,
There you go.
whether it be on a good side or a bad side. So it's just like it's a give and take. It's a give and take in terms of the way the mediums is being used and how we think about intellectual property and how we think about content and how we think about information is going to continue to keep shifting as we go further and further into the 21st century. Because with AI, right now, artificial intelligence, if you're putting stuff on the internet, that's all fair game. It's scraping that information too, and all that information is now going into the AI database, and it can start to create stuff that sounds like you, acts like you, and maybe even thinks like you based on what you're providing. So ownership of ideas, ownership of content, how we think about that, that's all going to be changing moving forward, and the responsibility that you have when you say something. Like, people always think that there's no consequences to what you say or what you do. There's always going to be consequences, and that's just the way the ball rolls.
Man, you took a little deep, man. I wasn't expecting you to go that deep with it, so I appreciate that. Yeah, the consequences of the things you say online is crazy. Oh my goodness. All right, man. Let me just show you some of these. Let me just show you some of these uh, rules that we're seeing. Right. So as of June 12th, okay. So June 12th, 2025. When you use CapCut, you still own the content, but CapCut gets royalty free worldwide perpetual license. That's crazy. They can modify, publish, monetize, and resell your work. You waive personal rights like approval or credit. The license is irrevocable and sub licensable. All right, applies to public and private videos, and they go on to do some more crazy stuff with it. So for those of you who are um, looking at what to do with your videos, one of the things that come up that most people think about is the storage of these videos. A lot of times people are putting their videos online because they can get stored. So other creators are smart. They don't want to. They're willing to put their work online on the internet in these services, but they also want their backup, and that's smart. So I want to talk to you guys about how you can do that. I want to share with you how we do it here with our show, so that you can do the same thing. So with that, guys, I want to share with you a service that we use called pCloud. Let's go back to the screen. All right, so we got pCloud. pCloud is a service, and I really like this service. Me and Jerry have been using it for a number of years now. And what I like about it is you can get a lifetime deal. We love the lifetime deals, but it's not only their life. Like, that's not their only thing. It's not limited. It's not like an AppSumo deal where it's going to expire. You can get a lifetime deal anytime you're ready. And the lifetime deal is not their only pricing option. You can do monthly if you want to try it out for a while before you invest in a lifetime deal. So with that, pCloud is a online storage service. Um, they're not doing a good job of explaining it here, uh, but I'll tell you about it because I have it. Move this out the way. So pCloud is an online storage similar to Dropbox, but with some more benefits. The thing I really like about pCloud is they have something called pCloud Drive, and this is the differentiator from it being just an online backup service, an online storage service, to virtually like a additional storage service for your computer. So for many of those in the Mac world, we love the new Mac Minis that come out, but they don't have a lot of storage space. And you can buy physical additional storage, but I really am excited about their pCloud Drive service. It's what we use because it's like having a external drive plugged into your computer all the time, and it will even work even if it's not connected to the internet. It is one of the best things I've ever seen, and it's what we use here. So I'm going to share with you guys. Um, Oh, that's not a website. So let me think. Let me think how I'm going to share it with you first. Okay, we'll do this, and we'll just put it up here, and we'll see how this goes. Jerry, tell me if you see the screen. Boom. All right, there we go.
Yep.
So, what you may not be able to see here, but this says P Cloud Drive, and it is a drive just like a regular drive on my computer, where I can drag files into this folder. And once it's fully synced, we'll get the little green check mark. But you can store your files in there just like any other drive on your hard drive. So that's what I really like about it. And once you have P Cloud, then you can get the P Cloud drive, and they have it for both Mac and PC. They also have an app where you can access the files on your phone as well. And so we use this to back up all of our files for Technology Tuesday, as well as all my client stuff and all the backups. So I have so much more space on my Mac Mini because of the P Cloud drive than I would without it. So something I highly recommend. So Jerry, I know you have it. I don't know if you want to share any words about how you using it, but then we'll show about the pricing and how you, and a special that we know is coming up very soon.
I mean, for me, it's portability. So yes, you have Google Drive, you have what Dropbox, you have OneDrive. I mean, there's many different um cloud space like with Apple. I mean, not Apple, excuse me, Amazon, right? But P Cloud to me it's just like the fact that I can have the files remotely, use them on my phone, use them on the computer. I bought a lifetime deal, so the lifetime deal was beneficial because with Dropbox, with uh, depending on if you how you use Google Drive, if you get like a Google gives you some free space. If you want some like heavy duty space, you gotta pay for it, right? So, OneDrive, all those things are yearly, sometimes monthly, depending on what plan you're on. But yet, I invested in P Cloud and I got 12 terabytes.
Ooh,
So I have 12 terabytes lifetime to store stuff on their cloud server. And I have a lot of things there, so I don't only just have files there, I have music there. So when I'm flying on an airplane and you have to turn your phone on like airplane mode, I can access the music that I have stored there and play it on my phone. Because if you have the stream, a lot of people have the streaming stuff, right? You got Amazon Music, Apple Music, what, Spotify, all that type of stuff. So not sometimes, yeah, you can download music, right? But whatever music I have in P Cloud, I can access it um, offline because there's an offline mode, right? So it's like make these files available offline. So now when the phone doesn't have any connectivity because you're on the plane for 3 or 4 hours, boom, I can listen to whatever songs I want to listen to right there from the P Cloud app on my phone.
nice. So let's talk about the pricing, just so we can make break it down for you guys. All right. So if we go to the pricing, and I'm just going to go to the end of it, right? They have a monthly plan. So you just want to try
I
this
also use
out.
it, Greg, too. I'm sorry, I was going to jump in. Like, you can use it to back up the photos and videos on your phone too. So a lot of times, like especially people who use Android phones, right? Like they have a Google account, and depending on how many pictures you take, they might be like, oh, you're running out of space, or if you gotta pay for more space because we're using up all the free space. So pCloud lets you automatically save. So whenever you take a picture, you can save it to pCloud automatically. So you can have it set up to sync all those pictures and videos that you record on your phone. So that way, if you break a phone or something, you never lose like your stuff.
Nice, nice. Yes, very similar. Apple has its ecosystem too, where it's all backed up automatically, but you pay again monthly for that. So if we look at P Cloud, right? So basically, you're just going to pay for how much space you want. So you can pay monthly. The smallest plan is only like $5 for 500 gigabytes of space. $10 for 2 terabytes, and you can have Ultra at 10 terabytes for $19, right? You can go annual and try it out, but the best one is the lifetime, right? And so you can get 500 gigabytes for one-time payment of $200, or a 2 terabyte payment of $399, or a ultra for 10 terabytes at basically $1,200. So what I want you guys to understand is we've been on this for several years, and every year there's certain times where they have sales, right? And so these are their regular pricing. And with the 4th of July holiday coming up, they are going to have a 4th of July sale, and they will discount this price even more. And it's coming up. So if you want to do this, right, you can probably jump on the monthly plan right now just to see if you like it. And in a few days, when they drop their sale, their 4th of July sale, you can grab it. Now, if you're catching this on the replay, and you missed the sale, don't worry. They do sales almost on all major holidays, but you can always start on a monthly plan and just make sure it's going to work for you, and then grab the lifetime deal when you're ready, right? So again, this is something I highly recommend. It's something I use, and you can use it to get all the storage for yourself so that you can back up your videos and have your own storage. What I love about this, guys, is pCloud is just an online backup, but the secret thing is the service within it, which is called the pCloud Drive. And with that, you can attach it right to your computer and act like it's a drive just on your computer, just like you install the thumb drive. And you have all this extra space. And if you take advantage of the lifetime deal, it's not something you have to pay monthly for. So pCloud, highly recommend it. Highly recommend you guys check it out, and make sure you look for the special holiday special sale price that they will drop on the holidays. I know they do it on 4th of July is a big one. Black Friday is a big one. Christmas and New Year's is another big one. Those are the times I know they have their biggest sales, but you can check it out and get this when you're ready. So if space is an issue and you need to start looking at how to back up your videos if you're a creator, despite all the legal things going on with YouTube and CapCut and all the others, then this is a way for you to get a lot of space for you to store those videos. So Jerry, that's what I wanted to share, man. I think it's important that people know about these resources, and hopefully they can take advantage of the sale price coming up soon so that they can get the best deal that's out. So that's what I wanted to share. That's what we have for this Technology Tuesday. Any last words before we wrap it up, sir?
Go ahead, bro.
All right. Well, listen, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure if you found this information valuable, you share it with someone, and make sure you share the group with us. Join us at technologytuesday.com and join us every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a new exciting episode. Until then, till next week, take care. Talk to you guys soon.